in Lincoln.
There's nothing like the view from the cheap seats.
What you talking about, radio? You're having waffles.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Oh, you're talking to
Good
him.
morning, sports fans.
A pleasant good morning, Lincoln and Logan County.
Oh, bud.
You are in the cheap seats with Joe Ryan and special guest. You want to introduce our guest?
Yes. Jake Johnston from Jake's Home Furnishings.
I was talking about the one on the leash.
And Archibald is here today.
Because Jake is off the leash. He's off the hook, yo.
Yeah.
So, good morning. We are
Live.
We are missing the driver of the bus, Scott Kirby, who couldn't be with us today.
Said to be going to watch a Cardinal game.
A Cardinal game, and
Yeah.
they just happen to be playing the Cubs.
Well, that might happen.
That's like me. I go to St. Louis for Phillies games, so I'm smelling what he's stepping in. So yeah, lots of going on.
Yeah, Scotty kind of gave us the last minute notice. He's going to the Cardinal game. He's a big deal, isn't he? I get in trouble with that stuff all the time.
Yeah, back the bus up there.
Back
He let us know
Costanza, back it up.
He let us know a night before, and you're calling that late notice?
It's a late notice.
Little Mr. Text at 10:05. Hey, running late, won't be there.
He's in charge. I'm a guest.
Guest. You're a guest getter.
Yes, somewhat getter.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're really a guest getter.
I'll tell you what, let's just not keep this from the fans. The breakfast out here at the Hampton's pretty good, isn't it?
Yes.
Because Jake's got syrup all over his face and down the front of his shirt. You can't get enough bagels in your mouth. Archibald's liking the sausage treats.
And apparently,
The Joe's all over the omelet.
Joe is all over the omelet, and the
omelet's
coffee
pretty
is
good.
all over the table. So, yes.
The coffee's good. This is a great breakfast. Can you come out here and just get breakfast? Like $6 all you can eat or something?
I don't know, but or you can have a radio show and come out and get it, I guess. So, we are live at the Hampton Inn on the west side of Lincoln, and we'll be with you for about the next hour. Feel free to give us a call. If you
Hi,
have
Arch.
something sports related,
Hi, look.
something Logan County related. We're at 217-737-3791. Hit us up on Twitter at WLCN Sports. We are also on the Mixler app. You can listen to us there
Say bye-bye.
if you are out of our listening range. And there's all sorts of things going on. Over to my right, I guess we thought we didn't have enough wires.
And let's see. Yeah,
There's Jake.
Much better.
Yeah, we can actually hear you
And
now.
I'm back.
He is back. So
Yeah, Jake.
9:30, we have a guest calling in.
9:30.
Now Joe's gone.
Joe's gone.
There you go. I'll tell you what.
That's why I sat in the middle here. I figure
This is just a mass malfunction.
you're there. You're just very
Am I
weak.
back?
You're back. Yeah. Just don't move, and we'll be good. So
We had guest Todd Lowman is going to call us about 9:30.
about 9:30, talk to us about
He's
some
golfing.
special event out at the fair, which is coming up this weekend. As they're wrangling guests in the parking lot here in front of us.
Hey, how about the fair around the corner? You know what that means?
Your favorite ride?
School starts.
Oh,
Thought you were going with
teachers
corn
and
dogs
kids
there.
we thought you were going at all.
Teachers and kids hate to see that the fair starts. That means school's around the corner.
So is that what your wife's like getting the last minute fun in?
Absolutely.
That's why you're
is.
here with the dog, so she can.
She's out to wreck. I brought Archibald today. Short ride, short leash. Let's see what he can do.
There you go.
He's being pretty good.
He's being pretty good. He's
Yeah,
eyeing
right.
that sausage there pretty good. So,
He's an interesting character.
so what is going on in the world of sports?
Well,
You got something, Joe? You got another?
how'd the Cubs Cardinals do yesterday?
How did the Cubs and Cardinals do yesterday?
It was a grand game. I think it's 5-2, 5-3, 5-2.
5-2.
Yep.
Weaver picks up.
Weaver actually had a nice solid game last night for the first time in seems like a year.
Montgomery dropped to 3-4 with the loss. And Norris picked up 20th save.
Yeah, he's been solid. He had one bad outing earlier in the week that ended up losing a no-hit bid for Ponce de Leon, but you'll have that.
Boy, Yeah, that was ugly. Let's talk about that for a
Not
minute.
bitter at all about that. Well, heck, the Cardinals back-to-back days go 6+ innings with Gomer and Ponce de Leon of no-hit ball, which, you get a couple young guys, first-time call-ups, first-time starts in the Major League Baseball, and they're throwing up those kind of numbers. Ponce de Leon goes 7 no-hit, or 7 and a third? 7 no-hit innings, not giving up a hit, or I think he gave up about 2, maybe 3 walks. That was about it. Had just a dominant game. Was down in the zone, moving the ball around real well, punching about 85 or 95 on the ticker, and it looked pretty good. And Gomer comes in with his left-handed throw-in the next day, and he goes 6 innings no-hit ball, or 6 and a third actually, and then that's when he served up a couple runs. But Cardinals ended up winning that game, so.
They did.
Well, so it might be time to get the brooms out. There's probably brooms people running around all over the place, right? Getting this stuff ready.
For what? For the Cards Cubs?
Yeah.
A little early for that. It was only game
If you win the first game, you may as well get the brooms out. The Cubs can't recover.
We'll see about that.
I don't think they can recover.
I don't know, man. You're only as good as your next day pitching. So
Good point.
Who we got today? Is it Hudson going today?
Have some confidence, Jacob.
Is that what it is? I don't have a lot of confidence with this year's squad. But
Today it is Quintana against Nicholas.
Michaelis, yeah.
Michaelis.
Yeah,
That's showing dice.
There's a small problem going on over here. Hey, Goofy.
Holy mackerel.
Hey, Goofy.
We can't take you anywhere. And your mangy dog.
Come on,
too.
Goofy.
Mangy dog too.
So, yeah.
Michaelis is about 10-3 right now.
10-3.
Just under 3 ERA. Quintana, I believe, is 9-6 with a just under 4 ERA.
That is correct.
So that should be a good matchup.
Speaks the truth. So, and right now, St. Louis, of course, won yesterday, pulled to within 8 games of the Cubs.
We're not out of it.
No,
Well,
they're over
You
500.
know what? The thing I can say is the Cardinals have yet to have that run. About every team will go on that run where you'll win 8 to 10 games straight. You do that and see what happens. I mean, if they can pull something like that off, they'll be right there.
When we start the run, what are we out of the wild card? Not that far.
About the same.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
All right.
Drop out a game
thought
and a
we were
half
closer.
out. Drop out a game and a half out of that.
4 games out of the wild card.
Yeah.
That's half, fellas. We can do it. Have confidence.
You can do it.
We're winners.
We are winners.
Right, Archibald?
Taking a look at the
Winners.
standings in the National League East.
We're winners.
Archie. His eyes go straight to the sausage.
Straight to the sausage. So your division leaders right now in the National League, Philadelphia in the East, Cubs in the Central, Dodgers in the West. Wild card leaders are Milwaukee and Arizona, with Atlanta half a game back, along with Colorado half a game back.
I was going to say, Arizona's really kind of stumbling right now. Now that the Dodgers have gotten their legs underneath them, I don't see them hanging on to that wild card spot.
Their legs and Manny Machado's legs underneath them.
No kidding. Manny Machado, man, he's came over just on fire. Not necessarily hitting the home runs, but he's getting on base. And got a good glove over there.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. He is.
He's raising the stock prices.
Absolutely.
The Dodgers are well, we can talk about that a little bit later, but yeah, they might not be done with trades either.
This is true. Yeah, it is the July 31st waiver wire trade or non-waiver trade deadline coming up. So lots of movement here in the past few days. Over in the American League, Boston 5 games up on the Yankees, leading the East. Cleveland 8 games up on Minnesota, and Houston 5 games up on Seattle.
Is there any surprises on the leaderboards as we are at this point in the season for you?
As a Phillies fan, sure. I thought we'd definitely be looking up rather than sitting on top of the division. But
I would think everybody, and I think we brought this up before, everybody, both in Philly and Atlanta, the only ones that would predict that these guys would be where they're at right now are the GMs.
Yeah.
Because even
exactly.
the owners were like, yeah, no, we're a year or two away.
Yeah, exactly. And,
So,
you figure Washington's going to be, they're loaded, but
you would
they're
have thought New York with their pitching was going to be, maybe they could find a way to be right there as well. And
that's been a bit of a train wreck. Washington 1 game over 500. The Mets 15 games under 500, 14 games back in the standings.
Wow.
In their division. So, yeah, definitely not how most of the predictions, I think, before the seasons we're seeing things. So.
Yeah, and then you flip around to the American League, you almost have to go straight to the West. Yeah, you got Houston on top, which, in my mind, maybe the most well-rounded team in baseball. They're still looking for some bullpen help, but you got Seattle and Oakland, both at 61 wins right there. I mean, both of them are competing for that wild card, and they're not that far back from the Yankees right now.
No, not at all. I mean, if you look at that West Division, basically, if you leave Houston in first place, I think most everyone would have basically flipped the bottom 4 teams. Right now, it's Seattle, Oakland, Angels, and Texas. I think most people would have seen Texas more toward the top and Seattle more toward the bottom. So
as well as the Angels. I don't know how many people would have thought the Angels are going to be 14 games out at this point right now. So, with Texas, you would think that them and having their strong guy there to lead the rotation, and Cole Hamels, you would have thought they would have been up there a little more, but I guess that didn't play out so well.
not a great year for him. I mean, definitely not as dominant as he's been in the past. As
Cockadoodle.
Gesundheit. Some of the admiring fans are admiring Joe's canine companion this morning. Are you like signing autographs over there?
Right?
I don't know. Yeah, cockapoo, whatever I said. What did I say?
I thought you said
Cockadoodle.
I don't know. Cockadoodle. It is a morning show.
it is.
Whatever. Rusty. I thought you'd be good. Then we put you right by the door. He's on top of everybody that walks in and out.
Yeah, he's like
What do you got?
he's like the attraction there.
He's a door dog.
The door dog.
What do you think of the Cubs' new addition?
Oh, we're cyber jumping now, huh?
Was that a cyber jump? Oh, go
A
ahead.
little bit. I mean, kind of, sort of not.
You roll through it.
Well, no, he talked about Hamels having a down year. Now you're
That's
talking
what I
about,
meant,
it's kind of sort of a transition, at least on this show. So
Backdoor transition.
yeah, exactly. So Cole Hamels, of course, going from the Rangers to the Cubs. Cole Hamels and Cash go to the Cubs, and Eddie Butler and Rollie Lacey, and a player to be named later, heading to the Rangers. So, I mean, Cole Hamels was a very good National League pitcher for several years for the Phillies. Maybe he can, maybe he'll have to bat for himself, and that'll get his head in the game or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's what it'll take. Yeah,
You never know.
the Phillies also. Your beloved Phil had a good pickup last night as well.
Yeah. We lost out on Machado, but Asdrubal Cabrera from the
Machado.
Mets.
That's pretty solid, man.
It's not. I mean, they're. I think their OPS at shortstop is 27th out of all Major League Baseball right now. So,
Is that where they got him playing? Then
yeah, generally he'll fill in there. Plus, Maikel Franco is kind of streaky, so he may fill in at third some. Cesar Hernandez, their leadoff hitters, had a sore foot here the past week or so. So he'll probably fill in around the infield.
Archie found your duct tape, Jim. Take the cord up. I got him.
Maybe that's why we were having technical difficulties.
And we're back.
Is the dog not supposed to be gnawing on that? Come here. I see his hair's all curly. Maybe you got a little shock there. So, yeah.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. All kinds of good stuff. Phone lines are open, 737-3791. If, July 31st is the deadline. There's still some discussions out there. Trades to be made. Teams looking to upgrade. So the Brewers picked up Mike Moustakas, so the Moose is on the loose in Milwaukee now.
That's a pretty big pickup for them, man. They needed a sure glove over there at third base, and I think he is that. I know the Braves were hot on him. as well as a few other teams. Heck, as a Cardinal fan, I would like to see him. Just a solid, good guy that they can do a lot of hitting.
Yeah, absolutely. Philly had their eye on him as well, but thought the price tag was too high. Let's see. Trying to look down the moves here the past few days. Johnny Venters going back to the Braves. A little reunion going on there, giving them some bullpen help. And the Brewers didn't really give up a whole lot. Outfielder Brett Phillips, right-handed pitcher Jorge Lopez. So definitely an upgrade at third for them. Aaron Judge going on the 10-day DL. Saw some quotes from him.
Was it bleeped or anything? That stinks. When you get hit on the wrist, man, or hand by a pitch inside like that, I mean, that's just a tough way to give up some games in the year.
Not good. I mean, he was trying to give it a positive spin in all the media articles I saw that he's just, trying to let it rest and recover, try and get healthy in time for the playoffs. But I don't know; those wrist injuries can definitely linger on beyond.
Oh, they can, depending on how you treat it, they can last for years.
Oh yeah.
The arthritis in there and everything. I mean, it can drag on you, man. Yeah, he's a young kid. What a phenomenal athlete. I mean, just unbelievable.
Let's see.
If there's somebody out there the Cardinals could grab, who would you say? Who you want to get? Make a move, or just sit.
Boy, I don't know.
Pat,
man.
or
just sit.
Maybe what's his name? Stroman from Toronto.
Oh yeah. Marcus Stroman, I believe.
Yeah. He's a guy I'd like. I don't know. There's a lot of players out there. The problem is, what do you give up for them? And they're almost all rentals. I mean, there's not too many guys that have an extra year or two on their contract that's being waved around out there, and that's usually what the Cardinals want. They don't want they don't want a Jason Hayward where they're here, give up a whole bunch and goodbye. Either that or they want somebody that has signability to them. So we'll see. I mean, we need a third baseman with some power. Maybe Josh Johnston's that guy.
That'd be a good pickup,
he's having a rough year, but I don't know if we're really building to try to win this year. I'm not saying that we couldn't. Like you were saying, Joe, we're right there, but I don't know if we really can finish this year off in a position to where, okay, we're not only going into the playoffs, but we have a chance to go into the World Series as well, and that's what you got to look at. I mean, we're Cardinal fans. We're not fans of other teams that just want to make the playoffs.
That's right. We're in it to win it.
We're in it to win it.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to mortgage your future for a one-game wild card and then you're done.
And the thing is, we do have some young guys that are worth something. Hopefully we get to see this Hudson pitch this weekend. I mean, he is a stud. He's down in the minor leagues. I think he's about 13-2 in AAA. And I don't know if you guys know much about AAA baseball or even AA baseball. Starting pitchers don't usually have records like that. It is very, very rare because they'll put them in different positions to just try something, and they'll make them throw different counts to see if they can use that count to get them out of an inning, as opposed to letting them use their number one stuff. I mean, you've got to be pretty well rounded to be able to get to that position. Now, don't get me wrong; they still want to win down there, but they take their directive from the main office, and the main office may be saying, "Hey, we need to know if he can get him out with just breaking balls, or right-handers out with this kind of pitch, or left-handers out with this kind of pitch," and they'll push them to that, and they will not let them throw their normal game. So it is kind of interesting to see what's going to happen, but hopefully, as a Cardinal fan, I'm hoping we get to see him. I mean, he's kind of in my mind, he's our stud in the minor leagues. So we'll see what happens, and it could be an interesting look into maybe the Cardinals' future if we get to see him. Got Gomer, Ponce de Leon, Hudson, and hopefully by next season we'll know exactly what we have with Alex Reyes as well, and the future could be pretty bright for the old Cardinals.
Oh, it's bright.
So bright you got to wear shades.
It's bright in St. Louis.
One other sort of a roster move of note, Chris Bryant on the 10-day DL, retroactive to July 24th for the Cubs. And did you see Cy Rizzo came in with his 0 ERA the other night?
Yep, for the Cubs. Yep, he is. From what I hear, he wants to challenge Babe Ruth, MVP and his Cy Young, and that's going to take place almost immediately.
Almost immediately. Breaking news, you heard it on the cheap seats first. So 9:24 is the time. Should we go ahead and take a break? Mr. Jim is nodding yes, so we can thank our sponsors, and then shortly after the break, hopefully we'll have our caller and talk about some goings-on at the Logan County Fair. You are in the Cheap Seats at 96.3 FM.
Give it, Rich.
Welcome back to the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM, WLCN, online.com, or the Mixler app. And I believe, Mr. Ryan, you're going to drive the bus here as we have a guest online talking about a night out on August 1st at the Logan County Fair.
Yes, sir, Loyd. On the line with us is Todd Lowman. How you doing this morning, Todd?
Hey, good morning, guys. How we doing?
Good.
Good.
Todd, for those of you who don't know, grab a JCPenney's catalog or a Kohl's magazine out of your Sunday paper. He's a male model in there for golf outfits. He also has hair products and stuff, and he's a good-looking guy, aren't you, Todd?
That's what you say, Joe.
Well, anyway,
You know, I do appreciate the walk-up music you just gave me.
that was good, wasn't it? Is that what you played in high school when you were going to bat?
I have no idea what that was.
Thank you. Thanks for getting on my team on that. Hey, Todd, so first of all, yeah, how's your golf game? Let's talk about your little golf game you got going.
It's not very good right now, but we did manage to win yesterday, so we're in the semifinals of the consolation bracket. I guess that's a good place for me to be.
Oh, that means you get to golf some more.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And the pressure's on today, right? You got to win.
It is. Yep, win or we're done.
Oh, you got to win then. And I know you're a Tiger Woods type guy. So good luck on that.
Thanks.
Hey, so first of all, we are calling about the things that are going on at the fairgrounds that you're going to tell us about. But I was wondering if do you want to go through the beginning of it with the phone call and all that? You want to tell us?
Yeah, sure.
Good.
First of all, thanks for having me on. We've had a tough week this week. We lost one of the best, Greg
Yes, sir.
Feldman. Everybody knows him as Flaco, and he passed away Wednesday afternoon after a 7-month battle. Him and Tina and the family, 7-month courageous battle with pancreatic cancer. So to back up a little bit, when Greg was diagnosed back in January, Flaco and Tina and the family are huge Duke basketball fans, and especially Coach K fans. And we were trying to figure out a way to brighten their days. And so I reached out to a few people to see if anybody knew anybody in the Duke athletic department. And to kind of make a long story short, my daughter had just gotten married about 4 weeks ago, and we were down in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. And to tell you how small the world is, the gentleman that owns the venue down there for the wedding reception, his father was a retired track coach at Southeast Missouri State. And
Small world.
Kevin White, the athletic director at Duke University, went to SEMO and ran track for Tim Rademacher, Coach Rademacher. And we were talking about the fact that Tina and Flaco did not make the wedding for obvious reasons. And just Duke came up, and Mr. Rademacher says, well, I'm personal friends with Kevin White, the athletic director at Duke. So we sent an email to Mr. Rademacher, who forwarded it on to Kevin White, who then presented this email to Coach K. And what we were asking for was just a signed note, personalized note of inspiration to Greg and Tina, so they could have that. And as it turns out, I received an email from his assistant asking for their phone numbers. I returned those phone numbers back to his assistant, and the next day, Coach K reached out and called Tina, and then talked to Greg as well. And the best part of the whole story, and you know, I think we all had a pretty good idea that Coach K was a class act, just on how he handles himself. Not to mention that he's a great basketball coach. But he reached out to Tina and spoke with Tina for quite a while. And Flaco was napping at the time. And Tina says, well, Coach, let me wake Greg up because he's going to want to talk to you. And Coach K just mentioned, no, please do not wake him up. He needs his rest. I will keep calling back until I can talk to him. So about 4 hours later, he called back, and him and Flaco talked for 20 or 30 minutes, and it was just very uplifting for both of them, for Tina and for Flaco, and just like I said, just kind of made a dark day a little brighter, and so that's kind of the background on what we have going on Wednesday night.
And of course, you know it too. I'm a big Duke fan too. I already was a Duke fan, but boy, it makes you want to root for them. And a lot of I know people do this, behind the scenes all the time, but it's kind of makes a difference when it steps up into your world and does something. So let's go Duke. Now, kind of tell us a little bit about, because you've taken this a step further and made this kind of a big event here for the V Foundation, correct?
Yeah. Flaco Flaco was a big KC member as well, and was very active in the Knights of Columbus, and they run the Knights of Columbus, as everybody knows, runs the KC Pavilion out at the county fair, and Flaco's night was always Wednesday night. He was always in charge of getting volunteers in there to run the KC Pavilion. So a friend of ours, and someone that most people know, Matt Young, sent out a text and said, "Hey, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this on for Flaco this year, and I'd like to have a lot of volunteers." And so we had several guys step up and say, "Yeah, let's do this for Flaco Strong." And as we went through this, I was sitting at home and I thought, man, if we could just get a couple, 300 people out there, it would help the KCs out. It would help the fair out, and so let's have some kind of a benefit. And I was talking with my wife and said, but I don't want to just pass the hat and generate $1,500 or something like that to send into the V Foundation. And the reason we picked the V Foundation is Coach Krzyzewski has been on that board since the beginning, 1993, the SB's speech by Jimmy Valvano, and so we decided. I said, I want to make this bigger for Coach K, because what he did was, in our eyes and in the Feldman's eyes, was just truly unbelievable. And it's a small gesture on his part, but it was so big to Greg and Tina and their family, and to all their friends. So I said, I'm going to go out and get some corporate sponsors, some businesses to donate, and let's try to generate $10,000 instead of a couple thousand. And in doing so, the Woods Foundation, Glenn Bates and the foundation board members stepped up, unsolicited. We were just talking one evening, and their foundation has pledged a total an equal match to anything we bring in over the course of that Wednesday night and the few days around it, up to $10,000.
Well, that's pretty good.
Now that, yeah, that's outstanding, and we truly appreciate that pledge. And I did mention to Glenn on the phone. I said, I'm not going to leave anything on the table. We're going to work our butts off and get that $10,000 so we get off the and he hopes we do. So now that $10,000 has become $20,000, and the feedback we've gotten through social media, we've had it out on Facebook and places like that, and the social media has just, like I've been telling everybody, just snowballed. It's really, our community has come together, and I want to point out that the V Foundation is for cancer research, and it's not specific to pancreatic or to breast cancer or to colon cancer or any other type of cancer. It's cancer research in general, and they want victory over cancer. And we just thought it was a really good fit. I know everyone in the community has been affected by cancer somehow. Either they know someone's had it, they've had it themselves. There's cancer. We've had a ton of cancer survivors, and although not enough. And we have people that are fighting cancer every day. And then we have those loved ones that we've lost to cancer. So we're hoping Wednesday night is going to be a big crowd, a huge crowd to benefit cancer research.
I tell you what, it's an amazing story, and it hits home and hits to your heart, and knowing all the family and sending our best wishes out to all those guys. And again, at the fairgrounds that night, can you just bring a check, or how does any of that work, or at that evening?
Yeah, it's the benefit is Wednesday evening from 6 to 8 at the KC Pavilion. We're encouraging everyone to come out. We'll take cash donations. We will definitely take a check, and that check can be made out to the V Foundation. And we'll have a table set up to take the checks. We will be passing the hat, so to speak. We're not doing any auction items, any baskets, anything that you normally see at the normal benefits. It's really just an evening to get together for the V Foundation in honor of Flaco, but also in honor of anybody else that's been inflicted with cancer or has loved ones or that sort of thing. It's just, like I said, it's touched everybody at some point in time in your life, and so it's a way that we, as a community, we can give back, and we're going to generate a lot of money for the V Foundation.
Well, I'll tell you what, Todd, a great story, man, and Coach K and the Duke Blue Devils, I have to find my Duke hat. Where I got it somewhere in that closet. I usually save it for the NCAA tournament. I'm gonna have to break it out. Is there a phone number to call if to find out more or to do any of this? Got a phone number?
Yeah, you can call my cell phone. That's 217-737-2223. You can donate online, and I guess I don't want to forget this part because this is important. We have the event registered with the V Foundation. So if you go out to www.jimmyv.org/Flaco, which is FLAKO strong. If you go to that link, or URL link, that will send you straight to our event page. The story is on the event page, and then there's a donate button. You can actually donate online and via credit card. And the V Foundation will then issue all the tax documents. And even those that write a check that evening will get something back to the V Foundation showing your tax-deductible donation. So you can donate online at jimmyv.org/Flaco Strong.
All right, we'll get that out on the website and stuff. We've got our man working the tweeter thing, however that's done over here. I have no idea how to do that, but they're working on it right now. Their thumbs went to work. But Todd, thanks for the call. And you know what? Let's have a great showing out there. It'll be a good time. Flaco's a good boy. Thanks for all that you're doing with this, and good luck today in your golf outing.
All right, well, thanks. I am disappointed that Scott's not around because we are playing up in Pekin, which I think's not too far from Manito, Illinois.
Yes.
You know what? I know he's listening, and he loves Manito, Illinois. That's one of his favorite spots to go visit.
Well, he can come out. He can come out Wednesday night and slap me on the back for that little.
That was a nice jab. Sheila will like that. Thanks for the phone call, man. Have a good day.
You bet. Yeah, Flico strong. Let's see everybody out there Wednesday night.
All right, thanks for the call, man.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Todd. Todd Lowman called in, and pretty incredible story. And
That's a big deal, man.
And I'm a Duke fan, so I hope it. There's a lot of haters on Duke. I hope they turn it around a little bit. Start rooting for them.
I mean, who hasn't been affected in some way, shape, or form by in some way, shape, or form by cancer? I mean, around here, everywhere, it's very relevant. So,
Absolutely.
it's a great deal, man.
Yep, should be a big event Wednesday, August 1st, 6 to 8 p.m. out at the Logan County Fair at the KC Pavilion. We need to take a break for our sponsors, so stick around and we will have more talk right after this. That's Mick Jagger. Yes? Go Withers?
Joan Jett.
Lenny Kravitz? Lenny Kravitz.
Is that Lenny?
It is.
Yeah, Lenny's got that.
You're correct.
Same sound.
Squiggy wasn't available, I guess. So, welcome back to the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM, also online, WLCN online.com. You can listen to us on the Mixler app. 950. Loyd Kirby along with Joe Ryan, Jake Johnston, and our sidekick
Archie.
for the
Archibald.
day, Archibald.
Archibald's been pretty good.
Sort of the team mascot. Yeah, he didn't like it
real
too
good.
much when you went in there for the get more coffee to dump on the table here.
I grabbed him a little sausage. We're letting it cool down, pal.
Cool down. There you
Just
go.
relax.
So thanks again to Todd Lowman for calling in. That event, once again, Wednesday, August 1st, out at the Logan County Fair, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Funds raised in memory of Greg Flaco Feldman, and funds raised go toward the V Foundation for Cancer Research. You can contact Todd, 737-2223.
Real quick sidebar on that. The cool thing about that is with the V Foundation, a very, very large portion of your dollar actually goes towards research. Which if any of you guys are out there doing benefits and stuff, you know that's a big deal. I mean, you know, helping somebody out and raising some dollars for them is one thing, but actually coming up with a cure for this disease is a completely different level type thing, and that's what the V Foundation's out there for. And you're right. It is. I mean, it's an awesome deal. What a great idea to put this on, and let's go raise some money, and maybe we can get this thing figured out here in a shorter amount of time.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I didn't live with Flaco, but I've known that guy for 40 years or more. I just never saw the guy in a bad mood. He's always an upbeat, fun guy. So let's get out there and support him.
Yeah, definitely a good cause. So once again, that's Wednesday night at the Logan County Fair. We sent out a tweet with some of the contact information. We'll send out another one with that direct link to the V Foundation website a little bit later here. We have about 8 minutes left. I shouldn't say the only, but another major thing going on since we've been talking baseball most of the day. Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown, happening this Sunday at, I believe it's at 1:30 New York time. So what is that, 12:30? It's 2:30 here.
What time was that?
It's 1:30, I believe it's 1:30 New York time. So that'd be
2:30 or 12:30
here. Yeah. So.
Yep.
Pretty good crop of inductees. Let's see, run down the list here. Looks like there's 6 of them. First up, Chipper Jones.
Oh, Chipper's one of the greats going out of the 90s into the 2000s. Yeah.
Yep.
Third baseman, stayed with the Braves this whole time.
No.
Larry.
Yeah. But, 8-time All-Star, National League MVP in 1999. Played 19 seasons with the Braves, hitting .287 in 21 postseason series, and finished his career with a .301 batting average.
Yeah, that doesn't even tell the story, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are awfully solid numbers. That doesn't tell his story, how clutch he was. I mean, you could not throw a fastball by the guy. I mean, he was incredible when it came down to the clutch. If you had to face him in the 9th inning, you really had to almost walk him because he was finding a way to either get on base or hit a home run. Yeah, I mean, he was nails and defensively as good as it gets.
If you were rooting against the Braves, you didn't want to see him come to the plate.
That's exactly right.
Exactly right. So talking about another good bat, Vladimir Guerrero going in as well, 8-time Silver Slugger Award winner. Also a powerful throwing arm in right field, hit .318 during his 16-year career with the Expos, Angels, Rangers, and Orioles.
I tell you what, when he was with the Expos, and this being a Cardinal fan, you know, we played him quite a bit. There wasn't much more fun than to watch him play. I mean, really, just and it wasn't anything he said. I mean, he kept. You never heard anything out of him, really.
No.
It's just his gameplay. I don't care if it was defense. He had a cannon in right field. You never try to stretch it into a double on that guy. I mean, it's just an absolute cannon. Then on top of that, it doesn't matter where you throw it. You could be trying to intentionally walk him, and he'll swing out of his shoes on a pitch and drive it out of the park. I mean, I remember one, I think it bounced.
Yeah, it bounced.
And he hit it over the fence.
Yeah, so I was going to say probably the best bad ball hitter
in the history of in my history of baseball.
Anyway, so American League MVP in 2004. Had just under 2,600 hits, just under 450 home runs. So
very deserving of the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. And somewhat local boy, Jim Tomei going in as well. 5-time All-Star who hit 612 home runs over 22 years with the Indians, Phillies, White Sox, Dodgers, Twins, and Orioles.
Wow. Limestone grad, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Didn't realize he'd been all those places.
I tell you, he was, again, another fun guy to watch, mostly at the plate. I mean, you really didn't think of him as defense. A lot of his career, it was a DH.
Right.
But what a great human being, you know, ambassador of the game, just a true gentleman. Doesn't hurt that he's from Central Illinois either, so
Sure.
you know that's always kind of a cool thing. But unbelievable power. What was his home run total? He's right at 600.
600 and of course I screamed ahead. 612.
612 home runs. I mean, obviously that's one of the top numbers in the history of baseball. Anytime you're over 600, that's unbelievable. And he was just a big country strong kit guy, man, that did it right. So
just under 1,700 RBIs and just over 1,700 walks. So.
Again, you'd have to say clutch. Came up through that Cleveland organization with a group of guys. It's hard to believe they only made one World Series. I mean, as good as that team was with the talent they had,
Albert Bell.
Who else? You got Manny Ramirez. Just
Kenny Lofton.
Well, who was second base for him? Alomar was on that team.
Alomar.
I mean, you got multiple Hall of Famers on that team. And, really unbelievable how good those teams were, and they only made one World Series.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a shock, sort of the Buffalo Bills of baseball maybe for that time. Another Hall of Fame inductee this weekend is closer Trevor Hoffman. First pitcher to hit the 600 save plateau over his 18-year career.
Kind of surprised he got in on the first ballot, even though he was, for a while, the all-time saves leader.
Yep.
Above Mariano Rivera, but at the same time, he was, and he didn't have a dominant fastball in any way, shape, or form. I think he may have hit 85. It seemed like, but that changeup looked like it was coming in about 110 mile an hour, and it was about 65. So he did it, and pitched with a few teams, didn't he? He was, I know, out there the Padres, of course, where everybody thinks of him, but I think he was with the Brewers there for a couple years and had a couple good years with them.
Yep, I believe that is correct as well. So.
But yeah, nice career, Hall of Fame worthy. They voted him in. I would say he definitely would have had to be because he had a couple, or he had the most saves in the game. Yeah. Even though that's not a long list there, because that stat didn't really take hold until later on. But very interesting. He got in on first run.
Yep, and then a couple more players going in. Didn't both spend their entire careers with Detroit, but significant time with the Tigers. Jack Morris, 5-time All-Star, and Alan Trammell going in as well.
Jack Morris had a interesting sound clips talking about today's game compared to back in his day, and how he would have probably just accepted being a 5 or 6 inning pitcher, whereas he was known for going the distance in multiple games. He was just
did not want to come out.
No. Didn't he pitch that 11-inning complete game in the World Series for the Twins, I believe?
He was. That's where I really got to know him, was when he was with the Twins. Being a Cardinal fan, you don't pay that much attention to Detroit baseball. But in the World Series, he was fun to watch, and just one of those hard-nosed pitchers that you don't see much of nowadays.
Yep. He said, one of the quotes in that article, "When I talk to guys from my era," Morris said, "we're all grateful we played in the era we played. There's obvious reasons why it would be advantageous to play in today's game, and most of that revolves around money. But it's funny. I think if I would have grown up in this era, I'd be just like the guys today. The manager gets me, and 5 2/3 inning later, I'm done. That's it. Go get the relief pitchers." So, definitely a different. He also mentioned elsewhere he's probably one of the last wave of pitchers where their performance is judged on wins and losses, and before all the sabermetrics came in and spin rates and things.
I feel like that just changed here recently, though. Last just few years, where I think all the big time arms no longer wanting them to go 7, 8, 9 innings. You look at Chris Carpenter just a few years back. As a Cardinal fan,
7 months.
You kind of expected him to finish out a game, or at least be right there towards the end. Roy Halladay, guys like that. Even Cole Hamels just a few years ago. Now, not so much. I mean, really, you're wanting the guys to get through the 5th, you hope. And then a lot of times you have a guy for the 7th, a guy for the 8th, a guy for the 9th that's going out there almost every day, and then just fill in that 6th inning, or maybe even part of the 5th inning with whoever you got. So
just try and shorten the game.
Yeah, I mean it's not quite the same as what it was, and for the Cubs, they still have John Lester. I think he's more that way. He wants to get out there and finish a game. But really, for the most part, league-wide, they've all kind of went away from that.
Yeah, definitely a trend these days. So, don't know if any of those Hall of Famers are listening, but congratulations to them.
Any of them called in, Jim?
No, no one.
I thought Tommy might be on that.
Well, you never know. So maybe next time. So it is 10:02. So I guess it's.
I got a furniture store to open.
You got a furniture store. You got a dog to.
I got a dog to run, and maybe a golf game.
Maybe a golf game. It is a day that ends in Y, so you're probably playing golf. So.
Isn't he entertaining?
He's something.
I'll tell you what.
So next week we will be at the Logan County Fair, where we will find out once again. Everyone wants to know, Joe, your favorite ride at the fair?
I'm not going to tell until next week.
I'll find that clip for you. It's in the archives. So
that's pretty funny.
I can't wait.
So want to thank
funny guy, Loyd.
Thank Todd Lowman, Todd Lowman for calling in. Be sure to get out to the fair Wednesday evening, 6 to 8. Help raise money for the V Foundation in the name of Greg Flako Feldman. That's going to do it for us. Thanks to the Hampton Inn for hosting us, for providing breakfast, and we will talk to you next Saturday. Good day.